in this video, we'll be going through 3 of our recommended ways to start investing in the stock market. By the end of this, hopefully, you'll be able to know the differences and choose which broker is the best for you. My name is Emir and welcome to the Millennial Finance. How to buy stocks as a Malaysian. You've probably seen a lot of headlines saying that this is probably once in a lifetime opportunity to start investing. Now, the main question that comes to your mind is, how do I buy stocks as a Malaysian? Make sure you stay till the end of this video because you don't want to end up just finding out about the first one and then choosing it only to find out that it's not the right one for your needs. Let's get started! So traditionally, to buy a stock, you would have to go through a broker. Stockbrokers are basically professionals who help retail investors like ourselves execute our buy and sell orders of stocks in the share market. You've probably heard some stigma about the fact that these stockbrokers are bloodsuckers and just trying to get their clients' money and get them to spend as much as they can. In the popular movie The Wolf of Wall Street, we can see how these stockbrokers try to convince their clients to just trade as much as possible so that they can make the most in terms of commission. How it works was, every time an individual like you and I make a position, for example, buying shares or selling shares, the stockbrokers charge a commission which they then pocket for themselves.
We're taking home cold hard cash via commission, mother.
Because of this, they are incentivized to make their clients trade as much as they can, even though it's not in their best interests. We made this video to address just that. We don't want you paying too much just to buy and sell stocks, as it will eat into your returns over the long run. With the emergence of technology, things aren't quite the same these days. Back in the days, if you wanted to make an order, you literally had to pick your phone up and make a call and tell them, hey Mr. Belfort, we want to buy shares of Facebook. Now, for us to buy and sell stocks, we don't have to go through to a direct stockbroker. Most share trading in the world is done through an online platform where there's no need to liaise with any individual. As expected, technology disrupted the stockbroking industry. As human intervention is no longer necessary, the fees that stockbrokers charge for every trade has been going down dramatically. With this, it lowers the barrier to entry to investing in the stock market for many retail investors, especially millennials like us. Charles Schwab, one of the most famous US stockbrokers, used to charge $30 for every single trade you made. Meaning, if you wanted to buy one share of Facebook, they charge you $30 and to sell another $30. Back then, people with little to no money found it very difficult to invest in the share market because with an investment of just $100, the fees of $60 will eat 60% of your returns. There is simply no way for you to be invested in the stock market and make good returns. As years go by, trading fees has reduced so much that people can even make articles about 13 best stock trading options that are completely free. Unfortunately, however, Malaysians are not exposed to these stockbrokers as a lot of them haven't opened their doors to international expansion. I really wish we could invest with some of these stockbrokers such as Robinhood, which basically was a pioneer in disrupting this entire industry. Until then, we've got to make do with the options that we have currently, which are still great. Being obsessed with the idea of investing in stocks, we did some extensive research and came down to the 3 best options that we think would also suit you. Without any more delays, let's go to the first one, being through your local Malaysian banks. To no surprise, our local banks such as Maybank and CIMB also have their own stockbroking divisions which will help Malaysians buy and sell stocks. Through the banks, there are many different available markets. For example, if you wanted to buy Maybank, which is a Malaysian stock, or Toyota, a Japanese stock, or even Alibaba, a stock listed in the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, you can do it all through the banks. However, the fees is the tricky part. These banks charge you 8 ringgit per trade if you want to trade the Malaysian stock market. Having said this, this is probably one of the lower rates in Malaysia and we will have no problems paying 8 ringgit for every trade. The problem comes, however, when you want to invest in international stocks, where Maybank charges you $25 per trade or 105 ringgit. Going back to my Charles Schwab example, you realistically cannot make any money with these amount of fees unless you have a lot of cash to start out with. The final verdict is, if you want to invest in our very own local Malaysian stocks, going the bank route is probably one of the best options. Fees are low, and the convenience of having this merged together with your traditional savings account make it a clear-cut choice. The main con about buying Malaysian stocks through your local banks is the fact that the registration process is not online. Being millennials, we can't imagine the fact that we have to go to an actual branch to sign up for an account. We want to do everything online. This is probably not a deal breaker, but personally, I have never opened a stock trading account with one of these banks, so I don't know how complicated this entire process is. If you want a hassle-free registration process where you can do everything online with the similar amount of fees as the local banks charge, we recommend using Rakuten. We've used this platform before and we can vouch for its ease and trust. However, Rakuten only provides access to the Malaysian stock market. Now, we want to circle back and say that investing in international companies is super pricey through going through your local banks. Being charged $25 for every single trade means you roughly need around $2,500 or 10,000 Malaysian ringgit to make this all worthwhile. If you're insistent on investing in international stocks like us, don't worry, because we've came up with some options for you. With our second option here, which is TradeStation Global. Through TradeStation, you'll be able to access many different markets globally, whether it's in Asia, US, or Europe. However, they don't have exposure to the Malaysian stock market, meaning if you want to buy your stocks, you still have to go through the bank route. When you look at the commissions that they charge, you clearly see the difference between TradeStation and using Maybank. For every trade, TradeStation charges you only $1.50. In comparison to our local banks, this is nearly 17 times cheaper. In terms of registration, the entire thing can be done online, and we've done it before ourselves. There's no need to go to the US, there's no calls being made, there's no physical paper for you to fill up. Everything is online. We like the platform, it's very easy to use and it's very informational. The fees are much lower than what our local banks charge, and for those of you who want to go through the international stock investing route, we recommend this over the banks. However, the platform may be a bit technical and you need to spend some time going through it before making any trades. The last stockbroker that we're going to go through is the most famous social trading platform in the world now, eToro. I'm pretty sure you've seen one of the ads before. eToro has access to a variety of markets, which gives you the opportunity to invest in international companies. How they work is they allow you to invest in certain stocks that they pick, which currently ranges over 1,000 stocks worldwide. This may be an issue to some, but most large cap stocks which we want to invest in are usually found in the eToro platform. eToro also allows for the investing of Bitcoin, commodities like oil and gas, and even currencies. This means that eToro can be just one platform that can give you a nice mix in your investment portfolios. In terms of fees, eToro claims to be $0 fee and they don't charge you anything at all for making any trades. However, we believe that there are some fees that are being inserted into their spreads. To illustrate this to you, we'll show you a real example of how it looks like to trade a stock on eToro. Here, you can see that to buy one share of Tesla is going to cost you $755.45 whereas to sell it, you only get $753.8. The difference between the two is roughly 0.01%, which is probably what eToro takes as their commission. This is extremely favorable to us in building our long-term portfolio for good returns. Currently, eToro is a main platform that we use for all our stock investing. For starters, their minimum deposit is only $200 or 870 ringgit, which we believe is something that a lot of us can afford. Another thing that we really like about eToro is the fact that we can buy fractional shares. What this means is you don't need $2,000 just to buy one share of Amazon. In normal stockbrokers, you probably have to pay the full amount to buy the shares of each individual company. However, in eToro, you can invest as little as $50 into every single trade that you make. To give you an example of this, if the share price of Amazon is $2,000 and you only want to buy $50 worth, you will end up having 5% of one Amazon share or 0.05 Amazon shares. This is great because it means that with a limited amount of money, you can buy many different shares instead of just one. For example, when we deposited our first $200 in eToro, instead of being able to just buy one share of Facebook, we managed to buy fractional shares of 4 different companies. The extremely low fees that eToro charges on every trade, as well as the ease of signing up and depositing new money into the platform, makes eToro our #1 broker for now. If you want to sign up with eToro, you can use our link, which we will leave in the description down below, and you can get $50 when you make your first $200 deposit. This is an immediate 25% return on investment. To summarize, technological advancements has disrupted many different industries across the globe, and the financial one is not spared. What was once expensive, messy, and tedious merely 5 to 10 years ago is now widely available for all of us to participate in. We now have a great opportunity to invest in stocks with just a little amount of startup capital, something that our parents probably didn't have back then. To recap our options, if you're looking to buy Malaysian stocks, you should probably go through your local banks or Rakuten. However, their expensive fees for trading outside of Malaysia means they're not very favorable. For international trades, we recommend eToro for those of you who are new to investing and just want to get their feet wet. It's beginner friendly, and the ease of signing up means any one of you can do it even today. Advanced traders or investors that want to take use of derivatives such as options and futures probably have to use TradeStation. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, give us a big thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, let us know down below in the comments which stocks you'd like to buy and which platform you would want to use.